Hey everyone, Denise here and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing some gardening, specifically some planting. I have some containers here that I either got for free in the case of this old vinegar jug or for very cheap. These laundry baskets are from $1.25 from the Dollar Tree. So we're going to be using these today to plant some seeds and some potatoes as well that have started to chit. Which means that I can go ahead and plant them. So I'm excited to get started with that, and we're going to use some basil and mint seeds today as well. And I just want to preface this by saying that I am a very beginner gardener. I am just trying things I've learned online and on YouTube, so definitely don't take my advice as gospel. We're just gonna do an experiment with planting these potatoes and see how they do. And if you want to follow along, I'll be updating you on all my plants as we go. So subscribe to my channel to get more updates.
So first I want to give you guys an update on some of these other things I have growing. So if you watched my other video, you might remember these green onions that I got that were pretty much dead, and I cut off the tops of them and planted them. I transplanted them to this bucket not too long ago. It's just a storage bucket that I drilled some holes in for planting. And I've also got some seeds starting that you can see here. Got some mustard greens going and also some Swiss chard. You can actually see the little red stem, which I think is so adorable. So I'm really excited for those to start growing. They are in partial shade, which I'm growing because it's hot where I live. So I thought that partial shade might do better for them if I want to get some plants growing already. So we'll see how they do. I also have some other lettuce growing over here that's sprouting quite well. So I'm excited to see how all of these different sprouts end up doing.
This is my little pepper plant, which has actually started to grow a few peppers. I'm really excited. They're still ripening up, but it'll be really cool whenever we can harvest these and try some bell peppers. And then I have my zinnias, which have absolutely exploded. My marigolds, I think I made a mistake planting them in the same pot as the zinnias, and they have also had a spider mite infestation, so they're not doing too hot, but they might still come back, who knows. And I also have a tomato plant here that is absolutely exploding. I did this DIY shade cover that is really not very good, but it needed some shade because it was starting to brown. But I have a few tomatoes growing as well, so I'm super excited about that as well. And then I also have some geraniums and succulents going as well.
So these are the seeds I'm going to be planting today. I bought all of these from Seed Geeks on Etsy, and they've all performed really well for me already. I did plant some basil and peppermint before, but they were in too small of a container, so the seedlings didn't really grow. Now I know better, and I'm going to plant them in bigger containers, but I had great germination rates with all of them, so I'm confident that these are going to do well as well. So the first thing we need to do is prepare these containers for planting. So they will need some drainage holes in the bottom, since they are just regular grocery containers. So I'm going to use this drill to drill some holes in them, and I'll also give them a good rinse before we plant anything in them. For this jug, I'm also going to cut the top off so that I can have a planting container. I suppose you could also do it this way, but I'm going to go ahead and chop the top off here and drill some holes in the bottom.
using today is this Patio Plus mix that I got from Lowe's. It's organic, and I feel like for me it's a good planting mix. I'm sure there's better ones, but that's the one I'm going to be using today. I also have this Calm Cactus and Citrus mix that I got for some succulents that I have planted. I read from someone online that they had good success planting some of this in the bottom of a standard pot to encourage drainage, and then adding the regular potting soil. So that's what I'm going to try and do with these ones, since these are pretty small containers, so it'd be nice if we can make sure it has good drainage in the bottom. Okay, that looks like enough soil for me. So let's go ahead and put these seeds down. And on the seed packets, you can see the recommended planting depth right here. So we've got 1/4 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch for the peppermint and 1/4 of an inch for the basil. So I'm really not going to plant them very deep. I'll just scatter them on the surface and then throw a light handful of soil over them. These mint seeds are absolutely tiny, so I don't think I'm going to be able to see exactly where I planted them. That's okay. Just going to try and spread them out here and hope I got a good amount. I might tap a few more in there. I honestly cannot even see if they are coming out. There we go. We got some more. Okay. Just sort of tap those in there. Okay. Basil seeds are a little easier to see, thankfully. Gonna try and sow these thinly around, and I am not following the recommended spacing because we're growing in a small space, and so will they probably reach their full size? No, but if everything goes right, they should still grow. And like I said, I'm just gonna very gently sprinkle some soil over the top and then press them down. Very lightly with my fingers so that they stay in place. All right, and those are our basil and mint seeds, and I will update you all in a couple weeks to see how they're doing. And my last but very important step here is I'm going to give them a hearty water with my little janky seed watering can here. But hey, I say, if you can garden for less money, let's do it. And I will just have to be sure to keep these very well watered until they germinate. I think I'm going to put them out front where they will get more sun. Next up, I'm just going to plant this Butter Crunch lettuce. I have some lettuce growing here already. I forget what variety it is. I'll have to check for you guys. But I have some space here where they either failed to germinate or they dampened off. So I'm just gonna plant a couple of Butter Crunch lettuce here in this area. The recommended planting depth on this one is 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. gonna plant very few of these since I already have some other things growing in here and I don't want them to have to compete too much for space. So what I will do is just barely make a hole. I'm gonna just put one seed per hole actually. And honestly, that might even be a little too deep. Maybe I should just put them on the surface. I think I'm just gonna put them on the surface. So I feel like otherwise they might not germinate. And I still have a lot of seeds left. So I will be succession planting, and as soon as I find some more spots to plant things, I will plant some more lettuce. Cover them with a little bit of soil, and then I will water them. So I got the idea for using these Dollar Tree baskets as potato planters from some other folks here on YouTube who've had success with it. So they already have a bunch of holes in the bottom, which is great. I won't have to drill any holes. The only thing I'm going to do is line it with some recycled paper, and that will help seal in some of these holes so that soil doesn't go spilling out the sides, and it should naturally decompose over time. So I have some old paper and bags and things from, you know, Amazon boxes or whatever. I'm going to cut these up, use these to line the sides of these bins, fill it up with soil, and plant my potatoes. So let's see how it goes. So these potatoes have been sitting outside to chip for, I want to say, like 2 to 3 weeks. Mostly I was going to plant them without chitting them first, but I just didn't get around to it. So they've sprouted a little bit, but from what everything I've read is you can plant potatoes without chitting them first and they should be okay. And these are just regular russet potatoes I got from the supermarket. Definitely not the best ones to plant, but we'll see how they do. I want to plant these potatoes pretty deep so they have enough space to grow. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put them in about this depth. And we're going to place them chit side up. I just had a look at all my potato slices, and a lot of them aren't really as chitted or chitting at all as I thought. So I think I'm just going to plant these 5 all in here, and we'll see how they do. Okay, and now we're just going to cover these with soil. Y'all, this is what we're working with. Not too much has leaked out the sides. Got a little bit of a hole here,
but hoping that that won't be too much of a problem. I honestly have no idea if this is going to work or not, but you can follow along with me to see, and I'll let you all know. So I'm just going to give these a water, and that's all the planting for today. You can see the water is draining quite well out the bottom here already. So definitely not going to be any problems with drainage. We'll just have to see how this paper holds up. I'm not really sure, but hey, it's an experiment, so we'll try it. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for some time in my patio garden. I will be sure to keep you updated on how everything is doing. Have a great day.